Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we are going to be looking at the TBR jar for August, but we're going to change things up a little bit and start off with some of the prompts that I fulfilled in July. Now I do want to preface this video as you're seeing a very weird angle of me today, and that is because I'm stuck in bed. I have been injured and I cannot walk, I cannot stand for very long. I'm having a really hard time, and I didn't want to not do videos, as you saw with the flip through of my August setup. I couldn't film it from bed. I've got this lovely table, this bed table, but it's not quite easy to film from when I'm also trying to do bullet journal stuff because I spread out everywhere. So I did a flip through for that and I'm still not better. So I think the best thing we can do today is do this from bed, and I'll also mention that my dog, who I mentioned in other videos is very clingy and needy, is on the bed with me. So things might move a little bit, she might make a bit of noise. Just wanted to let you all know. Okay, so over July I had 7 prompts because I did not complete the TBR jar in May. I had June off, so I had to pick up an extra book, and out of the 7 prompts I've finished 6 of them already. This is the last week of July and I'm on book 7 as we talk, so I'm definitely going to be finished in time, so yay. I will not need to pull another prompt for August. I will be just at the number of 6 prompts. I will get into the rules for those who haven't played this game yet in a moment, but let's run through the books that we had for July. Prompt 1 was steal a book, and I stole this book here, Take a Hint, Danny Brown, from my best friend's shelf. It's by 𝓕𝓲 𝓕𝓲. I've read book 1, and this was the original book that I chose for this prompt. I am reading this at the moment. I am currently 52 pages in, so this will be the last book of the prompts that I need to fulfill. I'm absolutely enjoying it already. I'm so glad that I picked this one up off my friend's shelf. There were many books that I could have taken, but this one I'm really glad that I grabbed. The second prompt was fantasy, and I had 2 books down for that. One being this one here, A Court of Silver Flames, and the other one was Throne of Glass, which I'm doing a buddy read of. I'm reading that at the moment, so I chose to read this one for the prompt and fulfill it. I read this earlier in the month. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. All the reviews for these books are on my Goodreads, and some of them are up on my Instagram. Links are always in the description below. The next was historical romance, and I read Portrait of a Scotsman by Evie Dunmore. I gave that 3.5 stars. Unfortunately, it wasn't as good as the other 2 in the A League of Extraordinary Women series. The next prompt was last letter, first letter, so that means the last letter of the last book that I read had to be the first letter of the next book I read, and I read The Dead Romantics, which is an ARC copy that I got given by one of the publishers that I follow, and so they ended with S, so I picked up Sorcery of Thorns. This was not the original book. It was meant to be The Court of Mortals, because I was meant to read that after the Honey Don't list. Unfortunately, I did not get to it, and I returned it to the library. I do have a copy of it on my Kindle though, so I will be able to pick that book up at some point. But I picked this one up. I'm so glad I did. I've been putting it off for a while. I don't know why. It was an easy 5-star read. The next prompt is that of and it had to have one of those in the title. And I chose The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. That was an original book for the prompt, and I gave that 3 stars. The next one was cute cover, and that was Set on You by Amy Lee. And as I'm recording this, today is the, oh god, I don't even know, 26th? As I'm recording this, the top book of the month is this book. I absolutely loved every moment of this book. And the last prompt was a retelling, and I finished the These Violent Delights series or duology with Our Violent Ends. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920 Shanghai. I read the first book a couple of months ago, I think. Absolutely loved it, gave it 4 stars. I gave this one 4.5 stars. Okay, so now on to the main event. And that is the TBR jar. So the rules, if you haven't followed before, are that every month I draw out 6 prompts from the TBR jar unless I do not complete the whole prompt list the month before. If I don't complete them, I have to take a punishment, and that is to pick up an extra prompt, which I did this month. And if I have already done the prompt, because we do have double ups in here, I can put them aside and choose another one. I also do not pick some of the prompts that are in here, such as the one I can see right now, which is horror and thriller. My best friend uses this jar as well, and they're there for her, so I will not be doing those because that's not my cup of tea. This whole game is to just help me choose books off my shelf to read, or books I want to read, and I don't want to be putting myself into the pressure of reading something I don't want to. Apart from that, let's get into it. We'll start drawing out the 6 prompts. Okay, prompt number 1 is, let's see, oh no, last letter, first letter. I did that last month, so I get to put that aside. We don't put the prompts that we did the month beforehand back in here. They're sitting up on my desk at the minute, so once we get to the end of the jar, we'll put them all back in. We just make sure that we've got enough for each of us each month in here without hopefully doubling up too much. So let's try again. Prompt number 1 is, are you kidding me? We're not having a great start. That was also last month. Come on, jar. Okay. Let's see. Paranormal. Okay, so the first book that I have picked is The Crown of Gilded Bones, and that is for paranormal. This is by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It is the 3rd book in the Blood and Ash series, and it continues on from Poppy's journey in Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I believe after all the revelations that she received in that book and in book 1, she's now in Atlantia and going to be going through a lot of changes and dealing with a lot of I guess animosity and also curiosity over who she really is. I don't really want to give away too much more than that. I really am looking forward to reading this now. I admittedly had it on my TBR earlier in the year. I had plans to be done by now with the whole series that's currently out, because there is another book coming out later this year. However, I am one of those petty people who finds out things through spoilers and was told something but it wasn't actually completely accurate, and it was to do with one of my favourite characters in this world, and so I was like, I'm not reading it now. And it's nothing to do with the joining or that sort of conflict that caused a lot of readers to go off this book. It was something else, and sorry, not book, this series. But now that I know that that doesn't actually completely happen, I'm okay. I'm going to pick the series back up and continue reading. Prompt number 2. Let's see. Oh, that's an easy one. Ebook. So the next prompt is ebook, and I've chosen 2 Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Leese. I am very fortunate to have an e-arc of this book. She's one of my favourite authors, especially one of my favourite romance authors, and this book is an opposites attract, I think, novel. It's based off of the Shakespeare comedy Much Ado About Nothing. Both characters have some sort of disability rep, so I do know that the female main character has autism, and I think the male main character has anxiety, and they have to fake date. So I'm very excited for this world. She creates amazing books with beautiful disability rep in it, and I'm very excited to see how this one goes. It comes out in November. I've had a copy of this arc for over a month now, sitting in there. So I've been trying to get through all my other arcs to get to it. I'm very, very excited. Like, you have no idea how excited I was to receive this. And I will let you know how good it is in the end of August. At the end of August. Oh, I didn't shake it. Prompt number 3. Let's go for it. Oh dear. Sci-fi. So the next prompt is sci-fi, and I'm picking up another Jennifer L. Armentrout book, and this is The Darkest Star. It is the first book in the Origin series. This is a world that is set up after the Lux series, so it's based on aliens, and you find out quite a lot through the Lux series about one of the main characters in this, and how he is a very different alien. I don't even think you can call him an alien. Different species, I suppose, than a lot of other people in this world. And I believe we are following along with Evie, who is someone very special to Luke, who is the main male character. And she's lost her memories due to situation, and I'm doing a really great job at telling you this. I actually know what happens, but I'm trying really hard not to give away the entire plot. I was really, really excited to pick this one up. Luke is one of my favourite characters from the Lux series. Honestly, love him so much. And knowing that he got his own series is just kind of like when Seth got his own series from Covenant. Again, another Jennifer L. Armentrout series that you should totally check out. Anyway, so happy that he gets his own world. Book 4 is not out yet, so I've been holding out on reading this because I consume most of Jennifer's series back to back. I'm going to not do it with this one. I'm going to try and drag it out as much as possible, but it's going to be really difficult because I really like this world. Okay, prompt number 4, let's go. Dig deep. Oh goodness me. Erotic romance. Okay, for the prompt with the genre that I don't normally read, it is erotic romance. I love romance, but I'm not really into the dark or the erotic genre subgenres. So yeah, wasn't going to go along with that prompt. Is more so in there for my best friend. But I do want to read Electric Idol because I've heard great things about the characters. I read Neon Gods. I didn't enjoy it very much. I gave it 3 stars. So I was hesitant on whether or not I would pick up another Katie Robert book. There's nothing wrong with her writing style per se. It's just I didn't enjoy the others. So the other book, very much the plot line was very fast and unbelievable, and I don't like all the smart, which kind of defeats the point of reading an erotic romance. But anyway, I'm going to give this one a go because I've got some friends that have really recommended it. So this one follows along with, is it Psyche and Eros? Let me see really quick. Yep, I was right, it's Eros and Psyche. I really do like their mythology retellings, so hopefully I'll like it in this one. I've heard that the plus size representation is great on Psyche in this, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say about it. I hope that it's a good read. Okay, what are we up to? Prompt number 5. Oh dear, we've already got that one. We're not having a good time. Let's try again. Author pick. This means that my best friend gets to choose the author that I read from. the next book I have to share with you today is The Fine Print by 𝓤𝓲𝓭, and this is hopefully not a dark romance. I kind of think it's on that borderline of that subgenre, not sure. This was the author pick from my best friend. I've been waiting for her to come off on a break so she could tell me what she'd pick, and I kind of had a feeling that when I said that I'd prefer romance novels that she'd pick this one, because I've been holding out on reading it for a while. We really wanted to read it when it was hyped up, and hopefully I'll enjoy it. I don't really know much about it, to be honest, which is silly because it was so hyped up I should know the whole plot line. But I do know that it is a billionaire sort of, the series is about billionaire brothers, and this first one he owns, like Disney or some sort of like amusement parks, is that correct? Theme parks, and that she's hired so under him, so it's a power dynamics, CEO versus employee sort of romance, I'm guessing. I honestly don't know much more about it than that, just that my best friend chose me to read this one. Well, not this book specifically, but this author. This is the book that I have, this book one in the series, so we're going to give it a go finally and see if it's worth the hype. And last but not least, prompt number 6 is going to be mythology, lore, legend or fairy tale. And the last book of the prompts for this month is mythology, legend, lore or fairy tale, and I have chosen this book here. It is A Shield of Fate and Ruin by Nicole Bailey. It is another e-arc. I have read the first 2 books in this series, and this will be the 3rd one. This one will continue on with where things are left off in the plot against Zeus, and I think there's going to be a battle and war type elements in this one. So this is a retelling of Apollo and Hyacinth and their love story. So those were the 6 books that I've got for prompts, and the last 4 books on the rest of my TBR for the month of August are Castle in the Air by Diana Wynne Jones. I held a buddy read of Howl's Moving Castle in June, and it went so well, and everyone signed up to read the entire series with me, so that's so good. We decided that we would do it every 2nd month, so now that it's August we'll be doing the 2nd book in the series, and this follows what's his name, Abdullah, and he meets a jinn. It's sort of like an Aladdin style type of story, and he wants to rescue someone that he's fallen in love with, and she's been taken away. So I'm really excited to get back into this world. I absolutely love Diana Wynne Jones and her style of writing. We all absolutely loved Howl's Moving Castle. I think every single person in the buddy read gave it 5 stars. I've read this before. I remember when I read it and I didn't really enjoy it as much, probably because there's not a lot of Hal and or Sophie in this from the first book, but it's still really good and her writing is still fantastic, so we're going to get through this one, and then in October, if I can calculate correctly, we'll be doing the final book, which is House of Many Ways. So that is one buddy read that I have this month. Another buddy read that I have this month is the 2nd book in Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas, Crown of Midnight. We've just started the first buddy read along of Throne of Glass yesterday, so when I'm filming this, so this whole week until the 2nd of August, I think it is, we're doing book 1. We're picking this one up on the 8th of August, I believe. Yes, and we will be continuing on the entire series with like a week in between each book to give it a bit of a break. I'm really excited to get through this series, and I can't really say much about it yet so far because I haven't really read much more than like 40 pages or something like that. and I've heard great things about it. I'm excited to get to know the characters that my friends continuously message me about. I know that my friend Millie doesn't watch these videos, but she very much so is the culprit for me ending up and reading the series when I'm not the biggest Sarah J Maas fan. However, I'm willing to give it a go. She says this is her best work, so let's see if I agree. And then two other books that I really want to get through is This Vicious Grace. That same friend that I mentioned, Millie, she got to read the arc of this and I didn't end up catching it at the right time, so I missed the chance to pick it up myself. She said it was absolutely amazing. This is a fantasy debut by Emily Theed, is that how you say it? And this is about what's her name? Elisa. She's in peril because of a prophecy, I think it is. Let me just quickly look. She's supposed to magnify, what does it say? Alyssa's gifts from the gods are supposed to magnify a partner's magic, not kill every suitor she touches. So she's being hunted down to be assassinated for some reason, along with whatever this power is, and she hires a bodyguard to protect herself from all of that. That's kind of all I know about it. It sounds great. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm so in love with this cover. Like, how pretty is it? This book recently arrived from when I ordered it in, and I'm just so in love with the UK cover. I mean, the US cover's pretty as well, but this one I really, really love. And the other book that I have is this stunning hardcover from the library. Unfortunately, I don't own it. I would love to. It is The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid. This is also a fantasy debut, but I believe she's got another book out or on its way. So I actually don't know too much about the plot of this book. I do know that it has some Hungarian history and some Jewish folklore in it. I'm assuming that the main character has something to do with being betrayed or something of the like and runs into the woodsman. I'm not sure. Let me quickly check. So she's a witch, and she's the only one without power, so she's treated like an outcast. Yeah, I had a kind of feeling that that would be the case. And she's betrayed by her fellow villagers, and and there's monsters as well. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's not a great explanation of what this book is. But it sounds really interesting. I was really in love with the cover. That's pretty much what it is. I've got friends that have read this book and loved it. And when I saw the cover and when I was at the library, I recognized the name, so I picked it up. I really want to read this before my library recalls it back, so let's get on to that. I haven't been doing very great with my library books this month, so yep, hopefully I can get a few more read next month. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video with me today. I am so sorry that the angle is awful, and I hope that you enjoy some of the books that I have chosen. This table's making a noise. Thank you again so much for stopping by. I hope that by next month all my videos will be back on track. I am unsure about the filming of my wrap up of the month. Hopefully I'll be able to sit at my desk by that point. Like I said, I'm filming this on the 26th. And yeah, I tend to do that in the first few days of the following month. So hopefully, fingers crossed, my injury has improved by then and I can hopefully get that filmed. If not, I'll do another flip through. Thank you so much for being patient with me while I deal with all this, and I'll be back with a new video sometime very soon. Bye everyone!